There comes a moment in every life when the invisible turns visible, when the hidden currents of the universe shift, and what once seemed impossible begins to move toward you with force. But this moment does not come by chance, and it does not come early. It comes only when you are ready, and readiness is not comfort. Readiness is forged in silence, in fire, in loss, in the unrelenting grip of transformation. Carl Jung said, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain." The universe will not entrust you with what you are not prepared to hold. And so it waits, it watches, it strips away what is false, it tests your endurance, it hardens you in fire, it carves your spirit, until the moment you can finally stand without illusion. Then and only then it sends the signal. When the universe knows you're ready, the first thing that shows up is collapse. The life you built on compromise, the identity you wore like armor, the relationships that fed your survival but starved your soul, they all begin to fall apart. What you thought was stable dissolves. What you thought was yours is taken. Collapse feels like betrayal, but it is not betrayal. It is liberation. The universe tears away what you cannot carry into your destiny. Then comes silence. The world that once roared with voices grows quiet. Friends disappear, family feels distant, the crowd that once surrounded you evaporates. At first it feels like abandonment, but the silence is not absence. The silence is initiation. For the first time, you hear your own soul without distortion. In exile, you meet yourself. But silence alone does not make you ready. The universe sends repetition. The same lessons, the same heartbreaks, the same betrayals return again and again until you learn. You think you are cursed, but you are being trained. The unconscious repeats until you face it. Jung called this the compulsion to repeat the psyche's way of dragging the shadow into light. What you do not integrate returns, over and over. When you finally break the cycle, the universe knows you are ready. Then, suddenly, restlessness erupts. You cannot stay in mediocrity. You feel a gnawing hunger, a fire in your chest, an irritation with the ordinary. This is not dissatisfaction. It is destiny pressing against the walls of your life. The universe begins to shake your cage, demanding expansion. Restlessness is the soul's alarm clock. It will not let you sleepwalk anymore. And once you answer it, synchronicity appears. Coincidences that are not coincidences. Patterns that cannot be random. You think of someone and they appear. You need guidance and a book falls into your lap. You long for direction and a stranger delivers a message you didn't know you needed. Jung called it meaningful coincidence. It is the language of the universe. And when synchronicity floods your life, it is proof. You are aligned. You are ready. But readiness is not rewarded with ease. The universe sends opposition. Suddenly, obstacles rise. People doubt you. Circumstances resist. Chaos multiplies. This is not punishment. It is the threshold guardian, the archetypal test before transformation. Every myth carries it. Every hero faces it. The opposition is not there to stop you. It is there to prove you. To ask, will you falter now? Or will you step forward anyway? If you endure, clarity arrives. Not clarity of the entire path, the universe never shows you that, but clarity of the next step. And that step shines with undeniable truth. You feel it in your bones. You know it in your soul. That single step becomes your compass, and with each movement the path reveals itself. Then comes fire. Not outer fire, but inner. A drive you cannot explain. A focus that feels inhuman. You no longer push yourself forward, you are pulled. This is symphoria, the intoxication of alignment, the ecstasy of living in harmony with what the universe has written for you. The fire does not burn you. It becomes you. And once fire takes root, peace follows. Not peace of comfort, but peace of inevitability. Even in chaos, you feel steady. Even in uncertainty, you feel guided. You sense the invisible hand moving through your life, aligning what once felt random. You no longer force, you no longer chase. You move in rhythm with something larger. Finally, inevitability shows up. What once felt like choice now feels like destiny. You realize you are not deciding anymore, you are being carried. The river has broken through the dam. You are swept forward, not as victim, but as chosen. You cannot go back. You cannot unsee. The universe has moved, and it has moved for you. This is how the universe signals readiness. Collapse, silence, repetition, restlessness, synchronicity, opposition, clarity, fire, peace, inevitability. Each step is not random. Each step is necessary. Each step strips you, refines you, strengthens you. And when they converge, destiny arrives. But here is the final truth. The universe does not send what you want. It sends what you are ready for. And readiness is not measured in desire. It is measured in discipline. It is measured in resilience. It is measured in your willingness to burn. When the universe knows you are ready, it will not give you ease. It will give you fire. It will not give you safety. It will give you storms. It will not give you comfort. It will give you destiny. And destiny does not wait. The moment arrives, the signal is sent, the path opens. Then the question becomes simple. Will you step through, or will you stay behind? Because the universe has already decided. It is finally your time. When the universe knows you are ready, it will not speak in gentle tones. It will not coddle you with comfort. It will shake the foundations of everything you have built. Because the life you built while half asleep cannot contain the soul that is waking up. Think of the phoenix. It does not gently molt its feathers. It burns to ash. Only in the ash does the new life emerge. That is how destiny works. Collapse is not cruelty. Collapse is rebirth disguised as ruin. Carl Jung said, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." The universe forces you into collapse because the self you have been pretending to be must die before you can accept the truth of who you are. That is why everything cracks open at once. That is why you lose what you thought you could not live without. The universe is not taking from you. It is returning you to yourself. But collapse is only the beginning. Once the noise falls silent, the loneliness arrives. Not the loneliness of absence, but the loneliness of initiation. Every soul that rises must first walk the valley alone. Moses in the desert, Buddha under the tree, Christ in the wilderness, Jung in the depths of his Red Book visions. Solitude is the ritual before sovereignty. The universe strips you of distraction so you can no longer hide from yourself. And in that silence, the repetition begins. Patterns resurface. The same betrayals, the same temptations, the same wounds over and over. At first, you rage against it. Why am I trapped in the same cycle? But this is the unconscious dragging you to mastery. Repetition is not curse. Repetition is training. It is the universe asking, have you learned yet? Have you seen the shadow? Will you finally choose differently? Only when you choose differently does the wheel break. That is the mark of readiness. Then the restlessness awakens. It begins as irritation, a vague sense that the old life no longer fits. The job feels suffocating. The conversations feel hollow. The routines that once gave comfort now feel like cages. You ache for more, but you cannot yet name it. That ache is destiny pressing from within. It is the soul demanding expansion. It is the universe whispering, you cannot stay small any longer. And when you finally lean into it, synchronicity floods your life. The hidden architecture of reality begins to show itself. You dream of a symbol, and it appears on a stranger's shirt. You imagine a path, and the opportunity arrives. You long for a teacher, and one crosses your path at the precise moment. These are not accidents. They are alignments. Jung called it the intersection of psyche and matter, the universe weaving your inner world into the outer. But do not mistake synchronicity for ease. For just as the doors open, opposition rises. Tests appear. The people you thought would support you resist. The circumstances you thought would flow become blocked. You are tempted to quit, to doubt, to retreat. But this is the final threshold. Every myth contains it, the dragon at the gate, the trial before the crown. Opposition is not rejection. It is refinement. It asks, do you want this enough to endure? Will you rise when it costs you? If you rise, clarity pierces the fog. Not full vision, not a roadmap, but the next step, illuminated with undeniable truth. You don't need to see the entire mountain. You only need to see the next stone under your foot. And when you take it, the path unfolds. That is how the universe works. It reveals in fragments, demanding faith. Then comes fire, an energy that does not come from you, but through you. You wake with intensity, you work with focus, you create with force that surprises even you. This is Cyphoria, the intoxication of alignment. You are no longer dragging yourself forward. You are being carried by the current of destiny. And once you surrender to the fire, peace follows. Not the shallow peace of comfort, but the deep peace of alignment. Even when storms rage, you feel steady. Even when the path is uncertain, you feel carried. Because you know the universe is moving with you, through you, as you. Finally, inevitability arrives. The sense that what is happening is no longer choice, but destiny. You are no longer pushing. You are being pulled. You are no longer deciding. You are being moved. The current has claimed you, and resistance is no longer possible. This is when the universe knows you are ready. And what shows up then is not random. It is not coincidence. It is not luck. It is the very thing you were born for. The people who belong in your story arrive. The opportunities that match your soul open. The visions that once felt impossible begin to take shape. Everything that shows up is proof that the preparation was worth it, but only because you endured. Only because you stayed in the fire. Only because you did not run from collapse, silence, repetition, restlessness, synchronicity, opposition, and the tests that broke who you used to be. This is the brutal mercy of the universe. It waits until you are stripped, until you are emptied, until you are strong enough to carry what you once begged for. And when you are, it sends it, not to reward you, not to surprise you, but because you are finally aligned with what has always been yours. That is when destiny arrives. That is when the universe moves. That is when your time comes. And when it does, there is only one command. Step, claim it, become it, because the universe has already decided. It is finally your time. When the universe knows you're ready, it will not just bring what you ask for. It will demand you prove worthy of keeping it, because destiny is not sustained by desire, it is sustained by discipline. Discipline is the first thing the universe requires when the doors open. It whispers, can you hold what I give you, or will you drop it at the first sign of struggle? The fire of opportunity burns bright, but without discipline it burns out just as quickly. Many are given glimpses of destiny, but they lack the strength to carry it. Discipline is the vessel that prevents your destiny from spilling away. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is devotion. It is the act of treating what the universe gives you with reverence. To rise early when comfort calls you back to sleep. To work when distraction tempts you. To honor the vision even when no one applauds. Discipline is how the universe knows this one is serious. And when you carry discipline, the next gift shows up. Action. Because destiny is not theory. Destiny is movement. You cannot meditate your way into it. You cannot dream your way into it. You must act. Even when the path is unclear, even when fear presses against your ribs, action proves your faith. The universe will open doors, but you must walk through them. Action requires courage. Courage to fail, courage to be misunderstood, courage to risk everything for what your soul knows is real. Without courage, opportunities pass. But with courage, the impossible bends. Action is the key that unlocks the doors synchronicity places before you. And once you act, the universe sends you the next test, gratitude. Because power without gratitude corrupts. Vision without gratitude becomes arrogance. Gratitude grounds you. Gratitude turns burden into blessing, wounds into wisdom, storms into teachers. Gratitude is the alchemy that transforms suffering into strength. This is why the universe waits until you are grateful for even the pain before it sends destiny. Because if you hate your past, you cannot carry your future. Only when you bless the fire that burned you can you carry the fire that crowns you. Adaptability arrives next, because destiny does not move in straight lines. The path will twist. The fire will shift. The plans you clung to will collapse again and again. The rigid break, the fluid endure. Adaptability is proof that you are no longer attached to form. You are loyal to purpose. You bend not because you are weak, but because you are wise. And in the bending, resilience is forged. Because the universe will test you again. Even after the doors open, storms will rise. Even after alignment, obstacles will return. But this time, you are not who you once were. You do not collapse at the first resistance. You do not shatter at the first betrayal. You have been burned before and survived. You have been broken before and rebuilt. Resilience is the crown of scars, proof that the storms no longer rule you. Resilience transforms opposition into fuel. It says, "Throw me into the fire again. I will only return sharper. Strike me down, I will rise higher. Deny me, I will build my own throne." Resilience is how the universe knows you are unstoppable. And finally, learning. Because destiny is not a final destination. It is a school. Every collapse, every silence, every storm, every synchronicity, all of it was a lesson. And the lessons do not stop when you arrive. They only deepen. The universe is not interested in gifting you success. It is interested in shaping you into a soul capable of carrying light. Learning keeps you humble, keeps you growing, keeps you aligned. This is why the universe sends what it does when you are ready. Not to reward you for waiting, not to indulge your desires, but to entrust you with the weight of who you truly are. And here is the paradox. What shows up is not always what you thought you wanted. Sometimes it is harder, sometimes it is heavier, sometimes it is lonelier, but it is truer. It is the exact thing your soul came here to carry. The universe does not deal in comfort. It deals in truth. And truth is heavy. A drive you cannot explain. A focus that feels inhuman. You no longer push yourself forward, you are pulled. This is Cyphoria, the intoxication of alignment, the ecstasy of living in harmony with what the universe has written for you. The fire does not burn you. It becomes you. And once fire takes root, peace follows. Not peace of comfort, but peace of inevitability. Even in chaos, you feel steady. Even in uncertainty, you feel guided. This is why, when the universe knows you are ready, it sends not ease, but fire. Not comfort, but calling. Not safety, but sovereignty. Because destiny was never meant to feel small. It was meant to terrify you, to demand more of you, to burn you until nothing false remains. And when you have been burned enough, when you have been broken enough, when you have been shaped enough, the universe sends the very thing you once thought impossible. And this time, you will not lose it, because you have become the person who can hold it. That is a secret. The universe does not give you what you want when you beg for it. It gives it when you become it. And when you become it, nothing can take it from you. When the universe knows you're ready, what shows up is not luck, not chance, not random opportunity. What shows up is reflection, a mirror of who you have become, a world shaped by the soul you now carry. This is why the signals only appear after the fire. Truth demands sacrifice. Truth requires strength. But if you can endure collapse, carry discipline, act with courage, give gratitude, adapt with wisdom, rise with resilience, and learn without pride, then the universe bends to you. And when it does, what shows up is not random. It is not luck. It is not accident. It is destiny, written in the marrow of your bones, waiting for the moment you became strong enough to hold it. The universe does not reward the half-person, the fragmented mask, the role you perform to please others. It rewards the integrated being, the one who has faced their own abyss and returned alive. That is why the collapse was necessary, why the silence was brutal, why the repetition was relentless, why the opposition was merciless. Because without those trials, you would still be fractured, still be clinging to comfort, still be begging the universe to send you something you were not prepared to carry. But now you are forged. And what shows up reflects that. When the universe knows you're ready, the right people appear. Not those who drain you, not those who chain you, not those who feed your weakness, but those who mirror your strength. Allies, not parasites, builders, not thieves, people who speak to your soul, not your shadow. When the universe knows you're ready, the right opportunities align. Not distractions, not temptations, not false shortcuts, but doors that lead directly into the vision you were born to walk. Opportunities that match your soul's weight, challenges that demand your full strength, paths that terrify you because they are real. When the universe knows you're ready, the right vision ignites, not fantasies of escape, not daydreams of comfort, but a vision so precise, so demanding, so vast that it pulls you forward with fire. A vision that does not flatter your ego, but awakens your destiny. And when this arrives, it does not feel like surprise. It feels like inevitability. Because deep down you always knew, you always sensed that you were meant for more, that the suffering was not random, that the silence was not meaningless, that the storms were not pointless. You knew, but you were not yet ready. Now you are. This is why Nietzsche said, become who you are. Destiny is not outside you, because the universe will not mirror illusions. It will not reinforce masks. It will not conspire with weakness. It waits until you are stripped, scarred, remade until you embody the strength, clarity, and vision of your true self. Then it mirrors that self back to you. Carl Jung called this individuation the process of becoming whole, of integrating shadow, of uniting the conscious and unconscious. And in that moment, you will realize the universe was never withholding anything from you. You were withholding yourself from yourself. And the fire, the silence, the storms, they were not punishments. They were the universe forcing you into alignment, dragging you to readiness, demanding that you rise into who you truly are. So when the universe knows you're ready, this will show up. Not a gift, not a miracle, not a crown. You, the real you, the sovereign you, the unstoppable you. And when you stand in that, the world bends. The signals flood, the path clears, destiny no longer hides, because destiny is no longer outside you, it is within you. And nothing, no storm, no silence, no collapse can take it away again, because the universe has already decided it is finally your time. The universe does not move by accident. It does not play with your life like dice on a table. Every silence, every collapse, every storm, every exile, it was not punishment. It was preparation. When the universe knows you're ready, it does not hand you comfort. It hands you truth. It strips what was false, and it gives you what was always yours, but hidden beneath fear. And when that moment arrives, you feel it. The air shifts, synchronicities flood, fire rises, peace settles, inevitability pulls you forward. You are no longer begging, no longer waiting, no longer wondering. You are moving with a force larger than yourself, a current that has carried you since birth, but now, finally, you can feel it. Jung called this individuation. Nietzsche called it becoming. Every mystic called it awakening. It is the same truth. You are no longer half of yourself. You are whole. You are no longer playing small. You are sovereign. And in that sovereignty, the universe bends. The people you need appear. The doors you once thought locked swing open. The vision that once terrified you becomes the path you cannot resist. Because destiny is not given. Destiny is claimed. And you have claimed it. So when the universe knows you're ready, this is what shows up. Not luck, not miracle, not accident. You, your true self, unmasked, unbroken, unstoppable. And from that moment forward, nothing will ever be the same, because it is finally your time.